All right, so we're about to go on a little bit of an adventure. Now, I started 2 videos at the same time because they were working with similar things. We are going to go down the path today of the Xeon build. The other video we will do following this will be on that baby right back there. That's going to be my NAS. There are some things that have to do with both. You might see a little bit of a bleed over, but not very much. We're going to concentrate on trying to upgrade the Z97 and the Xeon. We're going to find out why that didn't all quite work the way it was supposed to, but here we go.
Now this swap with the Z97 and the Xeon processor and the extra memory and all that stuff is going to be a little bit more difficult than I originally thought. I first thought we were just going to do a case swap, and we'll take this CPU and cooler, put it on the other motherboard, put the new 32 gig 1866 memory, 8 gig sticks, 4 of them running at 1866, still DDR3, but I thought we would just swap around a few things, put 16 gig in here, put it in this Lenovo case that has way too many adapters. Well, it has the Lenovo cables and we've got adapter cables to that. We were just going to swap that and put this one in here because I can make my NAS out of that with plenty of storage, and we'd put the other motherboard in the other case. There's a small problem with that, so let's go investigate that, and you tell me if you can figure out what the problem is. Now in this case we couldn't just go ahead and put a snazzy new, basically I don't want to call it a paint job, but a new theme, red and black and all that stuff, in with a bunch of ketchup and mustard cables. So we were going to swap over to an EVGA power supply, 600 watts still, with all black cables. That would look all right, but you tell me if you can spot why this might be difficult to put. We're going to have to find a different case. Now we have reached a little bit of an odd thing. While I was waiting while I'm looking around for a case that I can put this in, I started testing. Now I know all 4 of these memory modules work. And I know that all 4 of these slots work with other memory modules. I went ahead, I tested this before to make sure when I was last testing the Z97. So I know all 4 of those slots work. But trying to put 4 memory slots or 4 sticks in all 4 slots didn't work. It does see it as 1866. We're about to find out if Windows sees that. I shouldn't have to like overclock or anything, and the Z97 should read that as 1866 memory, but it's just a little bit of a conundrum as to why it would work with 1600, 4 slots full, but not with 1866. So we're going to be doing our testing with 24 gig of RAM. Or maybe just step it back to 16 and we'll use that other set, something else that I might be able to use it for, who knows. Anyway, I just thought that was a bit odd. I'm still going to look for a case, and I'm still going to look for a solution. Maybe it's a BIOS, but I think I already upgraded this. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I upgraded this BIOS already. Anyway, so that's where we are right now. I also do think it's a bit odd that the BIOS says it's 99 degrees for the CPU, when the motherboard itself says it's 66. So when I first saw that, I'm like, okay, yeah. We're gonna find out, and we'll dig. Now we're running Cinebench with 24 gig, running at 1866. I am also gonna run it at 16 gig, because I wanna know if there's a difference. If there's not a measurable difference, I'll just take 1 pair of this memory out, run it in the primary 2 slots, and keep going. But this is running really, really well. Now it is getting a little warm, but it's not thermal throttling, it's not even coming close. So it's looking pretty good. I do have another cooler I can put on there to keep it a little bit better, maybe get a little bit better performance. But it looks like my biggest problem is going to be finding a case. I'll have to look through to see what I got. But she's screaming right along. Heck yeah. In the meantime, I'm also building my NAS server with the other B85 motherboard and the 4670. So that video you'll probably see maybe around the same time. I don't know. Depends on which one's done first. Alright, so whether it's 16 or 24 gig, it's fundamentally no difference. There's an 1124 versus an 1120. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, so I'm just going to run it with 16 gig and we'll go from there. Now, the one thing I have not done is put in the TPM 2.0 module. We will do that. We will see if secure boot comes up in our BIOS and go from there. And true to form, it does tell me no, 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 no. So yeah, let's get this module installed and see if that warning goes away. What do you know? We got a whole new category called TPM support. That's nice. Let's go ahead and enable a few things, then see what happens. Yeah, we'll go from here.
Okay, so after getting the TPM 2.0 module and getting it to see in the BIOS, I found it in the BIOS, got it set up. No matter what I tried to do, whether resetting the keys or anything like that, it would not see the module. Now, technically it saw the module because it did give me the option for the TPM security. However, it would not enable that said module, and when I tried to go to Windows, it said that module didn't exist. But it let me change those settings. It let me try to enable it. It just didn't ever change the state from disabled to enable or let me do anything about that. So I don't know if that's the module itself, if I was doing something wrong or maybe I didn't reset or save the keys correctly. Maybe I'll go back and revisit that. There's also some issues here with memory, and we're going to discover in a few minutes that those slots do work. Those memory modules do work, but it's a little frustrating.
And to show that I haven't completely lost my mind, there's 4 sticks working. 4 sticks. It did downclock it to 1600, but yeah, there's 32 gig in there. I don't know why those 2 sticks and those 2 sticks don't play along well in the same board, but it does work with 4 sticks. Just some things you just can't quite explain. All right, we've got the new TPM 2.0 module, different from the first one we had. This one, the BIOS did see it, but it wouldn't enable it, which is kind of weird. And of course, well, I don't know. We might have to try one more. I don't know. These aren't that expensive, but when I try to turn this one on, watch what happens. Oh, no. No. Really? Really? So after thinking it over, I just went back to the same B85. Yeah, it's trustworthy. I know it. It's running. It already has a TPM 2.0 module working in it. I don't have to fight and fuss with trying to set it up. I don't have to worry about the memory issues. I am going to put 4 sticks of memory in here, but I mean, it's rock solid. 70 degrees on the CPU when it's running Cinebench 26. Yeah, my 4th gen banger is going to be the setup that I had sort of before. It's at 1270 Xeon in the B85 M-E, I think it is. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with this chipset. It's a killer. And this case, the DIY case, it's the one that used to be called Traffic Cone. I took all the orange lights out. We just went ahead and it's got a power supply now that has all black cables, the black fans. It's, yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. And I know it does well. And I don't have to fiddle with it anymore. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to fiddle with something. Because I do have a 9th gen motherboard coming that's got bent pins. And so we'll have to play with that.
Okay, so in the end, what I did is I just went back and I put it in the same box that it used to be in. It used to be Traffic Cone when it had orange fans. We went ahead and set that up in it's our DIY case. It runs great. It's a B85M. I think it's a -E. I did go ahead and put the 32 gig of the new memory 1866 in there. It does not speed up or it does not clock at 1866. That's quite all right. I know I've got 32 gig of memory. It's a good little gaming machine. It's a 4th gen Xeon that it really, really does a good job. Now it's not quite, when I'm running Cinebench 26, it's not quite as fast as the Z97 motherboard, but that's okay. It's not a measurable amount less. Or it's not a measurable, it's not a measurable amount less. We're only talking 40 or 50 points on the grand scale of things. And so I wasn't really that concerned. What I'm very, very happy with is the temperatures are rock solid. The performance is rock solid. The memory works. The PC runs great. Don't have any issues. And it's already set up for TPM 2.0, which means if I want to play some of these games that require me to have the anti-cheat, then I can do that. Will I eventually try something like Linux on this machine? I don't know. I might. I might try a Linux setup just to see, just experiment how it goes, and let's see what happens. I'm not going to tell you guys, oh, stay tuned, we're going to do that. We might. I mean, you're welcome to stay tuned. It might happen, but it's not going to be my biggest priority with 4th gen, because now that I've got 4th gen settled, I sort of did a thing with 9th gen. That motherboard ought to be here any day now. It should hit in the mail either today or tomorrow. I'm watching for the mailman. But that is coming, and I'm pairing it. Now, it is the pins on the socket. There's a couple of bent ones, so we might have to see if we can get it working first. Story of my life, right? But $25 plus shipping. I mean, yeah, and we'll go over that later. But if we can get this working, I got a really, really good CPU that's going to be tested with it. So yeah. The other thing I'm working on is my NAS right back there. I have not built the hard drive cage, and so I have not put them in there yet. I'm gathering a couple of drives. I'm probably going to take them out of, if I'm pointing in the right direction, that NAS right there that I can't use anymore. It's a little bit too old. It's got a different processor. It doesn't have, basically I can't use true NAS on it. So I'm going to take the 4 1 terabyte drives to at least test my new NAS and then move my other stuff into it. So we'll get to that. That is in the middle of whatever else is going on here. But when it comes down to it, my 4th gen gamer is going to be the setup in the original box with the Xeon processor, the new memory, and basically it hauls butt. Does a great job, so I can't complain. Yeah, that's it. I appreciate all the suggestions of me trying to use a Z97 motherboard. I was really, when we did this and I broke one of the pins, I thought, oh man, it's going to be a disaster. We're not going to be able to get something to work. And we did, and it does. I don't know what the little things are with the TPM module. I don't know what's going on with the memory, but those are the things with older hardware, right? That's my whole point about using that B85. I know it works. I know all 4 memory slots work correctly with each other. I know the memory that I've got works in it, and I know that I can use secure boot, TPM 2.0, and I can play all the games that I might want to play on it. So yeah, that's where we'll go. That's where we're hanging our hat on that one. I don't want to say it's a hill I'm going to die on, because there'll be something else come up later. But for now, that's the peg I'm going to hang my hat on. So if you got anything out of the video at all, or found it not so confusing or mildly entertaining, or just kind of out of curiosity or whatever, throw a like on the video if you don't mind. If you're not already subscribed, please do. We'd really like to see that number climb, as well as, watch more videos. Some of these suggestions will be coming up in just a second. But if you don't do any of that thing, if you don't like, subscribe, or anything, or maybe reach out to the other socials, just do me one favor, and that's be good to each other. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, smile, wave, hold the door open, just those little things that being nice or being kind is free, and you'd be really surprised how it might make somebody's day. Anyway, that is all I've got for right now. So until I get myself into something I got no business getting into, and you can see it back there, and other stuff on the way, until we get ourselves into that stuff, that is all I have. So I'll see you later.